again, you got this one guy working on a job. You're selling it for $3,000. He's making $220. What's happening, everybody? I'm here with Kevin with St. Louis Epoxy Pours. Kevin, I appreciate you listening to the pod and jumping on here. Tell me a little bit about your business and some of the good, some of the problems, maybe some of the things that you're stuck on, or give me the overview.
So we've been going this is year 3. I started basically solo, doing it all on my own, kind of learning the industry as I went. Once I was comfortable enough, I put myself out there to the world. I was able to get some customers pretty early and kind of build from there. It's been a learning process the first year and a half, 2 years. I'm in a pretty good rhythm now. It's really the main thing is just trying to build the systems to get myself out of being just owner-operator and do more of my real goal is obviously to more run the business than continue to keep working in it. Yeah. It's the ultimate goal.
What does day-to-day look like for you?
Day-to-day now, it's evolved a little bit. This year, I've been able to bring on a virtual assistant. Has been one of the I think a lot of people will agree, it's a bigger game changer than I think most would give it credit.
Yeah, it's almost like a cheat code.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. It's, once you can get them trained to the industry, she definitely wasn't used to this style of working, used to cold calling constantly versus trying to build a relationship with our customers more. So it gets the day-to-day, it'll really starts with kind of making sure all that's organized for her. So I can kind of give her the rundown of the day. So I can kind of set that part of the day and then focus on, really it's, if we have jobs, I'm still on the tools. And made a recent hire of somebody with a little bit more experience. Lost a guy who didn't have experience who, I'll take the responsibility for that not working out, but could be a blessing.
And I'm with you on that, actually. You know that. I mean, for me, I look at any situation as a blessing, even if people leave or come or go. But one thing I want to know is, first of all, like, you're doing some work. How much, so are you the only technician right now, or do you have a lead tech? Like, what does that look like? Who's doing these jobs?
I mean, it's been me doing them all year. I had the employee that I was trying to sort of groom and train to take over the roles to where I can start stepping back, and then we can bring on guys on the team, below him. Since he didn't work out, I kind of started over, but I did find somebody with actual experience in the industry. He just started last week, was his first week.
Okay.
He's actually on a job right now, finishing up one we did yesterday.
Perfect.
I do want to get out there for the finishing part of it, not for control thing, but we haven't done that part together, so I just want to make sure we're on the same page as far as that.
So what is the St. Louis Epoxy pouring system in terms of production, right? So in other words, like, let's say me and you were having a conversation and I wanted to license your model. Okay. What am I licensing? Like, what is the standard of how your production process works?
So the production of the actual job itself.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you're meaning like the installation side of it, sorry, I'm a little.
Sure.
So, we'll arrive on the job. If the customer's there, we'll go over kind of the final bit of the scope to make sure everyone's on the same page, give them the expectations of, what we're going to do and how long we're going to take. With our industry, mainly, it's just we start with the prepping, so it's going to be a grinding or the shot blasting.
Okay.
Or the garage or basement or the business. Once that's all wrapped up, then we'll actually put down the first part of the floor. Sometimes we're able to do smaller garages in one day. Floors could take, 2 to 4 days if it's a metallic or something like that.
Sure.
So then it's just following that process all the way through. Then
So I wanted to highlight that for reasons.
Yeah.
If you were to talk to somebody that's doing $2+ million annually, they're able to describe that process in much more detail with much more certainty. So when I say that, I'm not saying that you're doing anything wrong. You're describing what your process is, but the process needs to be something that you would look at and say, that's our recipe. And that needs to be the gold standard. And everything that you do as a leader needs to align with that gold standard. So let me break it down like this. If you were to ask me that question and I were you, I'd say, this is how it works. We have 2 guys on every job. The first thing we do when we show up, the crew leader shows up, and first thing he has to do is make sure we have an area to plug in the grinder, right? From that point on, once we identify that, we're making sure the area is clean, clear, and ready to go. The grinding is going to happen between this time period and this time period. From there, we're going to do our vacuum or sweep or whatever it is and prepare for laying down the epoxy or whatever that process is. We do have a 1-day process or a 2-day process, depending on how big the surface area is. And then at that point in time, there's a quality control check. And we do that over and over and over and over again. Because the thing is that, and this is just, I'm just trying to give you kind of just some insight on maybe a blind spot here. You told me you hired somebody that was really good. Okay. Chances are, based on what you told me, he's working alone. Is that the case?
Yeah, unfortunately today.
Unfortunately today. Okay. So, and my job is to try to just give you perspective. I don't know the whole story, but maybe I might say something that kind of just, brings something to the surface. The model should be 2 people on every job. When did the person that you recently have quit?
It was a little over a month and a half ago.
Okay. So you have this, what we believe to be an A player based on what you said. Okay. Then the move would be, we need to get him a helper immediately, right? Because we don't want him to get burnt out too. And we've got to create leverage on the job that prevents you from having to do anything. And your skill set becomes the management and the operations at this level. So for me, if it were me and I had an A player, I would feel uneasy about him working alone.
Yeah. So it starts with that is, fortunately, it's, the situation he came from. He is a bit more accustomed to that, but we've set the expectation together. This isn't going to be the standard in how we operate with things, but
got it. But you have to define what that recipe is for the company.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what anyone else's bad habits or standards are. It's if you're a lead technician, which we've got to create that title in your business, you are now a lead technician. You need a junior technician that will eventually be trained to become a lead technician.
Yes.
And that's how you duplicate success and create the crews, and you incentivize the lead to graduate a junior, and you create kind of like this little ecosystem that's happening. But here's the deal. The fact of the matter is that, again, clearly defining what the recipe is, and you have a very simple process in terms of what you do. You're just pretty much painting a square of concrete every day, which is amazing because it's the best business to duplicate. And again, the standard is pretty easy. It's generally speaking, and this has been done by some of the best in the business. They have 2 techs on every job. You have a lead tech and a junior tech. So align to that standard. The ad should be out looking for a junior tech, because here's the deal. You said that throughout the whole year, it was you doing the work, right?
Yeah, with the exception of the
For the most
period, I had the other employee.
The helper.
Yeah, who was the goal
Right.
was to
So
train
you have
to a higher level to bring. Yeah.
Right. So you found someone with experience that made it through whatever your checks and balances are, which is very hard to do, right? So yeah, we can find plenty of people with experience, but do they have bad habits? Do they make us feel weird in person? Are they you're trusting this person enough to be alone on a job? I know that this is a big deal for you. Is it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a big deal
Definitely.
because
We've got to get them some help.
No, that is, if there's the list made, that's right there at the top priority. This is our 2nd week with him, so we're sort of working everything out. I'm still getting to know him a little better and seeing trying to give him the space to see how he operates in the lead role as me being the helper, so I can kind of see what his thought process are, then adjust it to sort of, the standard. If there's anything off, that we can be at least on the same page, making sure we're aligned as far as, I think I've given him a good idea of the vision of things going forward, and he agrees with it.
Right, but
So
we don't know if he's going to work out. And the thing is that, are you connected to Wi-Fi by any chance? It's looking like your service is coming in and out.
Check. Actually, the Wi-Fi was off, so it should be on.
See if we can get it better.
There it went. I think it was.
Okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think it might have just the Wi-Fi was clicked off. We should be hooked up.
Okay,
now.
cool. So the reason Yeah, maybe it'll be a little bit better. But the reason I'm saying this, Kevin, is because we don't know if he's going to work out. And when it comes to hires, generally speaking, they take a few weeks to come to fruition. So there needs to be an ad out for this role, whether you plan on making the move on bringing in the role now or not. But let's say 2 more weeks go by. Let's say each hire takes 2 to 3 weeks to be vetted by you, to go through the process. Do you understand why getting that ad out today is incredibly important?
Yeah, I mean, I can essentially reopen the same Indeed ad I was sort of working with. I mean, I've used the process that you put up on Drip Jobs to that's the process I'm copying. So
Sure.
really all I have to do is turn that back on, or honestly, I have a very decent list of helper candidates that are in the pipeline that I could always re-engage with as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, just
Kevin, you're
I
breaking
know
up, my
that
man. I'm sorry, brother. I can't. It's hard to
I'm
hear you.
on wife.
I think. Can you turn? Yeah, maybe. Is there a different spot? Does that spot in your house usually get bad service? I don't know.
No, I'm in the office, so it should be good.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see if it.
Okay, but I can. Yeah, it's just a little laggy. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, give that a try. Yeah, I mean, you can. My thing is that getting that ad out's important, but also having that separate role ad is going to be. You kind of want a different ad for that role, right? So you kind of want to pitch it as an apprentice. So it's a low cost role for you. You're pitching it as an apprentice, so someone is excited to learn the process, and then you have this apprentice leadership dynamic in your business. I mean, one of the core things that you mentioned in terms of like how to turn the corner from being a solo operator, that's how you do it. You put yourself in a position where your hands aren't doing any work because you have to pay people to do the work. So you're not the helper.
Yeah.
You can help from afar,
Yeah.
but there's valuable training time that's going on right now that could be being taken advantage of.
Yeah, that initial ad, it is an epoxy apprentice ad. So I have the two. I tweaked the one to try to look for a little bit more experience. It's a bit tougher of an industry sometimes to find people with experience specifically. But the other ad I was running was basically just an entry-level apprentice epoxy installer ad. It's a very good ad. I mean, it gets me a lot of, gets me from there.
But we've got to here's the thing. I'm trying to break a habit, really. I mean, to be honest with you, like this is a habit that we need to break where you're very married to the technical aspect of your business, which is the production, because you've had to be. And that's a hard thing to let go because this is what's providing for your family. So the only way to really do that is to blast through it. You have a lead tech right now that seems to be promising. Let's get him an apprentice to see how he manages another person. Your jobs are going to go a lot smoother. It's going to be a better experience for the customer. And you don't feel like you have to be the helper. You're just the head trainer. You're acting in that role as the head trainer, the supervisor. It's a different dynamic when there's two people on the job. It's a very awesome dynamic, actually. I don't know if have you had that happen in your business yet?
I mean, are you two outside of just me and another?
Yes.
I haven't had. Well, I mean, I've had it on specific jobs that were larger. I've brought on more people, but it was never.
You gotta realize, like, your skill
fast.
sets as a leader need to be developed here. I mean, you're going to learn things that are going to bubble up to the surface when you have a leader and an apprentice and two people.
I absolutely agree. Yeah. I agree completely with it.
Like you're going to have to think like, okay, well, here's a leadership thing you'll have to figure out is timing of jobs. They're going to get the job done a little bit faster. So that might make more room in the week for that third job instead of two jobs. Now you're kind of just pulling levers at that point. And really the whole purpose of this, Kevin, to be honest with you, is to prove to yourself that this model works. Perfect the model of one crew at a time. And brother, you are in a business that it's the best. I think it's one of the best home service businesses there are, which is epoxy. That all you've got to do is, if you want to grow your business, you have to do exactly the same thing again and increase the marketing spend. So this whole time period right now should be an experiment of how you can produce jobs without Kevin putting his hands on epoxy. And right now, this is take me to the bank on this. This guy needs a helper ASAP, whether you believe in him or not, because guess what? If he doesn't work out, at least you have a good apprentice and you can stack someone on top of him. So you got to create leverage around, right now your whole growth plan is based on one individual. who could potentially work out?
I would say the plan was with the disclosure of it was, I agree, with the helper thing for him faster than I probably had it in my head. I was thinking, I'll get him going with a few weeks together, see how we're working
Right.
and how that's
But you need
going.
that
And then,
time, though. You need time to let the applicants trickle in and go through the
true.
hiring process. Like, this is like a 2 to 3 week,
Oh, I
you
know.
know.
I
Yeah.
I understand that too, but because of the system you put together to show how to do it, I do have that I
Good.
just shut off that ad. So if I go into
Awesome.
Indeed right now, I've got 200 applicants in
And I
there right
love that.
now.
And I love
So,
that you did that. And that's
I
light years
mean,
ahead. I know you did that, so that's awesome. But I think the
yeah,
motivation is I'm prepared to make this hire. I'm prepared to pay this person. I'm prepared to create the roles and responsibilities of what the apprentice does on this job. You have a lot of leverage because you did the work. So like you're going to be probably a better trainer than someone that came in and just said, "Hey, I'm going to hire people to do this." Because
yeah.
you know what that dynamic is. So, do you feel like, I mean, aside from the team stuff, like, are you getting good lead flow? What does lead flow look like? How are you managing your lead flow? Where are you getting your leads? Do you feel like this is a bottleneck in your business? You have pretty good revenue. Um,
The only bottleneck in lead flow is me not having the ability to cover the amount of estimates that I could be doing because I'm doing the work. So that's why, yes, you're right. Speed. I can't increase that even more if I don't get a helper for him, if I got to be with him. And I definitely don't want him working alone because I know if I keep
Sure.
working alone, I'll be out of it.
Right. So
Our main
you're
lead flow is Facebook. Facebook's
Facebook.
our best. I've had a company that kind of caters to coatings industry specifically for
Okay.
6 months now. They've been doing well.
But
I
Kevin,
think
you're a
we're
smart guy, man. Like, look at it from the perspective. Like, let's say we take emotion out of this because sometimes in
yeah,
business we get emotional. If you were my boss and I were you, and I told you everything that was going on, and we looked at the fact that we can't sell jobs because me as the owner, I'm on the job doing a $30 at most hour, $30 per hour task.
yeah. Oh, no, my time and value is not being placed where it needs to be.
Heck
I do.
no, dude. You could be
Yeah, no,
you should be
absolutely.
making thousands an hour with your ability to sell.
Yeah,
So, well, again, like I think you get it. I just think that like whatever your 3-month plan is, get it done in 2 weeks.
that's very. The 3 month plan was to build a crew that's not me. That's not me
But
involved. So that would
the
be that
thing
2 man crew.
we're missing are the variables that you can't predict, which is the
Yeah,
fact that first of all, we've got to go through a hiring cycle to find the best apprentice, which is good that you have the expert because you kind of want to make sure that you can tell that they get along, right? So you're learning this
yeah,
new guy and you want to make sure you find someone that gets along with him. That's number 1. But the thing that we're not predicting is the chances that they work out are very slim. Like, I
yeah.
mean,
No, I
so we might have to hire 2 or 3 people to get you to a place where you say this. And I'm telling you, brother, this is worth pursuing. I don't have to think about that crew. I have 2 of those, and it took me 9 years. So
and
when
I
you get
mean
to that
it's
point, then all you're focused on is sales.
yeah, and that's the goal because I know. I know where it can go just based on the way things
Sure.
come in. My thoughts, honestly, were just get my new guy kind of acclimated, and then
Well, you want to balance burnout too. Like you said, hey, if it were just me by myself, now your mind is like, okay, good. I could take my foot off the gas and focus on sales. You're here doing this with me. That brother's looking around. Are you paying him out? Bro, you know what's going to happen. He's
well,
getting,
we've had these discussions, and he knows what the scope is today and the timeline that you
yeah,
know. Here's what
yeah.
the hours are for what we should be doing on jobs, and I've kind of been trying to talk to him early on, like the role that you're going to take on. You would have to know to
So the
work
most,
within set hours because if you want to take the lead, you have to know where we need to be
so
on
let
what's
me
done on
help you with
jobs.
this. Cause again, a lot of these
Yeah,
problems have already been solved, Kevin. I mean, everything that you're going through, someone's already went through. That's like the cool
no,
thing.
yeah,
So I would suggest piece rate based on square
yeah.
footage. And, cause again, you got this one guy working on a job. You're selling it for $3,000. He's making $220.
Oh, no,
That's not fair.
luckily, today's the top coat, so again, I can't base it off of how quickly I know I can do it alone.
It's not. Yeah,
I
I
know
would look
start
at
to
it like
finish it
this.
should be a 3 hour thing, but
He gets he gets. So let's say it's 500 square feet. Okay, what are you charging? $6, $5?
it'll kind of vary. I think this is a 900 square foot garage.
Okay, so 900.
We usually fall, 650 is where I like to be.
Okay. So
7 would be better.
So a 900 square. I need transparency here if I can help you.
Sure.
Okay, if you don't mind. We
I'll
might
give it to you. I
down.
can tell you the exact number. I just forgot the exact.
So you're at $5,600 on that one. Let's just say you're at $5,600.
I think I can.
Okay.
It's 15.
So 59. Okay.
Yeah, 5,900.
You're at 5,900. Okay. So let's just say this was a new job you're starting tomorrow, and you have your new lead guy on there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's he get paid per hour?
I started him at 30.
$30 an hour. What's the expectation for someone to be able to complete this job? How many days?
We would want to complete that in 12, 14 hours if everything went.
Right, because you have 1 day to apply the epoxy, so that has to be done in a day. So let's say he gets, you're saying 12 to 14 hours. So at $30 an hour, 8 times 3, 8. I'm getting too reliable on ChatGPT. I'm forgetting basic math. $240 a day. Okay. So from there, he's going to get $480 for 2 days. That's 16 hours. Okay. So let me pull out my calculator here. Okay. So it was 900 square feet, right?
Yeah, approximately.
Okay. So we're going to take 480 and we're going to divide it by 900 square feet. And what that gets us is 53 cents a square foot. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So that's what he's getting paid to do it. 53 cents a square foot. Okay. Couldn't you incentivize him and say, hey, listen, you get $1 per square foot and the helper, your apprentice, gets 50 cents a square foot. Your pricing model just becomes ironclad. You never have to worry about losing money because the agreement is piece rate and he's rewarded for bigger jobs. I can't do this in house painting because there's too many freaking variables. You can do it with a square.
Yeah. Yeah, there's only certain installs that are, garages are very predictable.
Kevin, look.
This model works for sure.
Kevin, listen, $5,600, okay? He would get $900. That might make you wince a little bit. But what I want you to understand is you're not doing it and you're going to duplicate this model and people are going to want to work for you because you pay more. So you're going to have the best techs wanting to work for you. So check this out, Kevin. So you're at 40, what's 56 minus 900? That would be 40, carry the 2, $4,700. Okay.
Yeah, so really with this one, it would be we're at 5,000. Yeah.
Right. So hold on. So $5,600, sorry, 5,900, excuse me. I'm sorry. I still had that written down. So you'd still be at $5,000 left. Okay, wait. Yeah. The apprentice, what did we say he gets? He gets 50 cents a square foot. So the apprentice gets $450. So how much does that leave you, Kevin?
Over here.
$150. You've paid your apprentice and your expert tech. And if they finish early, you don't care. It rewards them as long as it's done right. And you just created a system that you could duplicate and scale. Now here's the kicker, because we've got to understand, out of that 4,500, right now it all goes to you. But couldn't we give $1 per square foot to our salesperson? So now the salesperson gets $900. So if we took away $900 more dollars from that, how much do you make for doing nothing? $3,650 for just breathing and putting together the system. And that's just one team. And everyone's incentivized.
Yeah, after material cost, I mean, it's still a great, the margins are still great.
Let's say material cost is $650.
A little higher, and with polyaspartics got kind of high.
Okay, fine. Let's say it's $1,000. $650. Let's divide 2,650 divided by 5,900. That's if you had a salesperson, you're grossing 44% on that job. Everything's proportional because you're painting a square. So that's the mindset. That's the abundance mindset. That's the mindset that's going to keep your people wanting to work for you over and over and over and over again. It just creates the ability to scale. Because again, you do a 2,000 square foot, you're not worried about your guy feeling as though he's doing too much work. He's excited about it. He's like, heck yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we did on a job the day before yesterday. It was a little further away from our normal service area, but the deal with the customer is we're going to come down and do this in 1 day. And with that, we were able to do it, and we were very effective. But because of that, it was, hey, if we get this done quick and in the day, there's a job bonus for you at the end for complete.
And that's
which this system's much more repeatable.
And the thing is, right now you're getting the commission, and you can keep riding out the salesperson role as long as you want. But you know that if you need a salesperson, that's the easiest commission incentive in the history of mankind.
Balancing it with the materials, and then the goal is exactly that, for me to not have to think about it. It's repeatable and set, and it's just more of a quality control.
It's a dream service. Again, if I had the ability to do that in house painting, I would.
Yeah, it gets a little more complicated with metallic floors and things like that, just because it's definitely not as repeatable. It's the same process, but there's always more variables thrown in with.
Those are production variables. They're not sales variables, and they're not.
No.
That you're thinking in terms of it taking longer.
Yeah, it could take longer, and then more issues just tend to arise.
Right, but here's the thing: you might say, okay, well, if it's a metallic job, you get $1.25.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So it depends on.
We're charging more. Yeah,
right. You're charging more. So and if the tech has to do more work, exactly. So I hope that was helpful, man. I'm not sure if that's what you were looking for, but I think maybe
the piece rate thing is the hourly system with not managed correctly. People can take advantage of that in this, especially if you're not. I think it was really finding that proper way to rate it. Like, what's the job?
Sure. Yeah.
Setting a number that,
That's an incentive that allows you to be a recruiting agency of epoxy technicians.
My incentive was a little more crude. Essentially, hey, if we can get these jobs in under the time that we're sort of budgeting them for, then there'll be bonuses for the job. Kind of the way I
just front load the bonus, and
but that makes more sense just to build it into it than
build it into it.
Because again, I'm paying them that high end rate of it because I do want to recruit the best who aren't just motivated by money, alone. Because you know how that is with if they just want the money, then you're never going to be good enough.
I know it.
He wants that. He tried to start his own thing, but it was a little difficult for him. So he likes the ability to grow with me, and that's part of the reason that I wanted to bring him on at this role.
Good. Get him help. You need an apprentice, and you need to initiate this offer in terms of incentivizing and try it out. And you might find, that it gives you the ability to feel hope toward duplication.
Yeah, I think that could definitely be done.
How do you like drip jobs?
It's been great. It's not even there's no true complaint. The only thing that maybe I'm missing something in it, but with the way I estimate and the way I kind of build my estimates. Right now I'm doing it in a way that's not it's a bottleneck in that part of the process because I'm using drip jobs because it's perfect for the customer management and the drips and all that. It's when I get to the building my estimate side, I've been using JobTread, which is a great software. I really have no complaints with it. It's a little more robust than I need because you could build a house with it and set it all. So it's got everything. But the one thing I do like is, when I put in my catalog and I set my prices and stuff, I can do a selection of the full proposal, and I can adjust my profit margin or my total cost of the job, and it does it all in one swoop. Whereas when I was trying it in drip jobs, and again, unless I missed something, it's a little harder to adjust it, to tweak it.
Sure.
If I had that ability in drip jobs, as much as I like JobTread, drip jobs does more for me. So right now, I'm going to work two systems.
It's good feedback. I think that's definitely an area that we've got to work on when it comes to epoxy. See, the thing is with production rate estimating for houses, we have it, but like for something like epoxy, it's a little tricky. I would look into the production rate feature because you can pretty much do exactly what you're saying. You can adjust the hourly rate and it'll show you the variance in your profit.
And can I adjust that because it'll be a markup on the product and things like that, or if I just need to adjust my hourly rate to hit it? Because
yes, you would adjust your hourly rate to hit it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it would adjust so I can actually tweak it because the great thing now is
actually we do expert sessions. So if you hit the button at the top right, you can actually schedule a production rate training, and
that would be helpful to see if it fits the.
Yeah, you can try it out. So
it's just that's the only. If I could just take that little bit of code and put it in drip jobs, because I can go on there and click my whole job and be like, I want to be 55% profit margin, and it's just one adjustment to the whole thing. That's good. But otherwise,
cool, man.
I mean, you've done what we need in the industry. It's just having the admin to actually work the leads outside of the drips has changed it for me.
Yeah. No, it's good. That's going to be good. Just giving them, can't beat the phone, getting on the phone, just outreaching. So sounds like you got, some systems. You're close, man.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest bottleneck is the production side of things because I can't produce enough. I mean, we're 30,000 over last year's revenue today, in July.
Sure.
So, the growth is there. We got a lot of stuff in the sales pipeline that they're not jobs until they're signed and paid, but there's a lot of really promising things. At least in our area, it's not slowing down.
Now's the
Right.
time. Now's the time, man. You've got momentum. Always freaking go all in when you see momentum happening. It doesn't happen often in the business. If you're in a season of growth, you gotta just double down, because like you're riding the wave. Like when I say take action on that apprentice, it's because you have momentum because you have an expert. Isn't it different taking action on an apprentice with you knowing that they're going to be able to work with someone else to teach them, rather than it being you working and then having to find an apprentice?
No,
It's
absolutely.
okay. So that's what we're hoping for. So I say take action now because, again, we don't know if your expert technician is going to last. He doesn't have to.
No.
But you're more excited about getting an apprentice right now than you ever will be.
Yeah.
So ride the wave of that excitement.
Definitely. Yeah. It was, the personal thing, it was just a shock of the new, you bring on a new hire at that rate. I've never brought anyone on. I'm not scared of the pay. It's this initial first week of kind of like,
it's like, well,
this is the first payday week, payday's this week. So I'm kind of feeling out okay after my taxes and all that. Like, where am I at with this? It's just a miniature shock to the system to see where we're at. And then,
but here's the thing, like for me, it's like, you'll be fine. I think that's what
I know.
you'll be fine. You're going to figure it out. And, you seem to be someone that cares a lot. I could tell just kind of like in that little segment you said. And when you have another person to take care about and make sure he gets paid, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You're going to be more motivated to sell than you've ever been in your whole life. And what that's going to do is it's going to attract more work for you. It's amazing how that actually works. And actually what happens is, and I would say this on a psychological level, when you're doing the work yourself and you're doing estimates, subconsciously, you're giving off like cues that like, it's a lot of work, like as opposed to when you're selling jobs for other people to do. I've had that experience, and I could tell that I'm much more excited when I know that I'm going to be sending a team to do the work rather than I'm going to be here doing the work. Like there's a different dynamic.
No, that's definitely been I'm sure I've put that off to people as well.
So there's
some daunting tasks you walk into, and
there's so many benefits, my friend, that you're not even exposed to yet. So I think you get the idea. So was this helpful?
Yeah.
Good, man.
The biggest takeaway for me is this piece rate thing, and kind of thinking it differently as far as incentivizing it. You're reaffirming the thoughts I've been having during this whole hiring process. I just, the work keeps coming, and we're scheduled out till November, which is great. But because of me having to do everything, it's just made it harder to hit all of these tasks, and then keep the sales pipeline, then the hiring, then the training. So now hopefully I can I will.
There you go.
Get things.
Cool. Well, once you get through this,
I just wanted to give him a week, 2 weeks, work together, make sure we're kind of the same. We're interacting the same, and letting them interact with the customers while I'm there to see how it goes.
Sure. Well, look, man, once you get through this wave, come back on and we'll talk strategy, man.
Yeah. And then I'll look at the production rate for
take a look at that
training. I'd like to see what that has to offer. Could save me the multiple systems.
Awesome.
All right.